Well, good day folks, welcome to MB Wildman channel. On today's video I want to show you a real great set that we use out here in the open country a little bit. Old pastures, open fields, places like that. I call this my wide open skull set. Now it's not a difficult set to do, but it does take a pile of fox and a pile of coyote. So stick with me and I'm going to show you how to make this setup. Listen, if you haven't yet subscribed to the MB Wildman channel, we sure would appreciate it. It doesn't cost anything to hit that subscribe button. And go ahead and leave us any questions or comments that you might have. We'll get back to you as soon as we possibly can on those. We sure would like to hear from you. Okay, so this set's pretty simple and it works on the concept of basic coyote and fox canine curiosity. Okay, now there's two different ways to make a skull set. I call this the wide open one because that's exactly what it is. This is wide open in a big pasture area. So there's a lot of ground up here. There's some wood edge over to the back. And again, there's a little bit of a peninsula that comes out right over here, kind of over this way. But there's no set route, no set travel route that the foxes and coyotes are using here. They're just kind of cruising, right? They may pop out of the woods, they may cruise across, they may be hunting, you know, late fall or whatever for some mice or whatever in these fields. And what you want to do is you want to give them a visual like, wow, right in their face, like, what is that over there? Right? And then you want to put a little lure, a little scent in there so that they come over and investigate, okay? A couple of key things about this set. The first is that you need to pick a little bit of an elevated part of your field or of your open area. I use as big an open area as I can find. And I try to kind of step way back or look from even the wood edge and say, okay, where's there a little rise or a little knoll or something like that? And I put the skull right on top, okay? Now this skull here, I believe, that looks like a moose maybe. Yeah, I think it's a moose skull from way back when. Couple things too when you're picking out your skull. I never use one that's still got meat on it. This skull is years old and it's just bone. It's a matter of fact, the porcupines have got most of it taken away. So what I want to do is I want to have just the skull, okay? It just should be a visual attractant. This is not supposed to have meat on it for them to come and chew on and eat. If you use a skull that's too new and you've still got some meat and some stuff on there, you're going to catch raccoons, you're going to catch skunks, you're going to get crows, because this is wide open, right? There's no way to really conceal it. That's not the point of it, right? So you want to use an old skull, cow skull, deer head, just whatever's big and white and old and bone that will grab their attention from clear across the field and have them go, huh, what's that over there, right? So then they're going to wander over and at some point they're going to catch a whiff of your lure that you're going to place, okay? So the setup is really easy, and in this particular place I've got a golden opportunity because I got this little tiny tree that started to grow up in the old field. This makes for a perfect backing. Now you don't always have to have a backing for these sets. Sometimes they're just right in the wide open, right in the middle of the field type deal. In which case I would probably set a trap front and back. They will investigate around in circles, but for the most part, I like to have a little bit of backing, and this little tree makes it perfect for that, okay? So I've got my skull nestled back in there. I do actually wire the skull down, okay, with a little bit of aircraft cable, just so that it's, just so that if a coyote does get to it or something does get to it, they can't really drag it away. So I've got about 3 feet of aircraft cable attached through the back of the brain cavity down through where the neck attaches. There's a pretty good solid piece there. And I mean, it's not the end of the world if they drag it away. It's an old skull, no big deal. But I do like to be able to remake the sets, okay? So I do wire them down. And then my set is gonna go out front right here, okay? It's gonna go about 6, 8 inches, kind of like a good hand span, okay? 6, 8, maybe even 10 inches out in front of the nose of the skull. Because I'm going to put my lure way back in here, okay? So I'm going to smear up in here, back in the nasal cavity, as far sort of in the center of that skull as I can get, but on the front side. I'm not going to put it in the side where the eyes are, and I'm not going to put it in the back. I'm going to put it right in here in the front, okay? So if this had the full nose on it, it would be a little bit better, but, you know, I'll work with what I got, so. The lure's going to go in here, my trap's going to go out front, and it doesn't have to be super fancy. Just bed your trap in whatever way, you know, you would normally bed your coyote or fox trap and put it out front and then make that set. These sets, I almost always, almost exclusively, I put these on a drag. okay, because I don't want a big humongous catch circle right out here in the middle of the field. In this particular field, it isn't a big deal. I know the landowner real well. But if you're out in a field that you don't know, or that you don't have permission, not that you don't have permission, but that they don't want a big catch circle of the field all torn up, then you just put it on a drag. And there's so much wood so close to this, you'll find them tangled up in no time. So I almost always put these sets on a drag, right? So once you get your spot all set up, you're going to drop in your favorite coyote trap, whatever that might be. Right, going to bed it well, sift your dirt back over the top, however your favorite way to do that is. And I'm not going to take the time to do that here all on camera for you, but you know what I'm saying, right? So use your pan cover, sift your dirt back over, all those fun things. And after that, my friends, you walk away from it. Okay, so here I am back on that wood edge that I pointed at. So I got woods back here, and there's a little dip coming out of the woods, but as soon as you get up on the rise here, you look across, and you can see it right away. Like there's the white skull right there on the top of the hill. So I'm a good about 150 yards maybe back from my set, and I can see that just as plain as can be. So you know that a fox or a coyote, when they top that little rise coming out of the woods, they're going to be able to look and say, oh, what is that right over there, that white thing, right? And then they're going to start, working their way in to investigate that. And that's when the real value of this wide open skull set comes in, is when they can see it from a great distance, and it brings them over close enough to start to work your set. Don't forget your lure up in there, your favorite coyote lure, favorite fox lure, whatever it is that you're going to target here out on the canine line. And this set will take fur. This set will take fur that's passing by from 100 yards away, or from as far away as they can see. They'll see the skull, and it'll stand out to them, and they will wonder, what on earth is that? And then they'll come over and they'll investigate. So anyway, this is a great set. I use it a fair bit here in New Brunswick. I hope this is something you can use out on your line. And until next time, happy hunting from the MB Wildman channel.